Hey guys, Weavile VGC here, and welcome to a brand new series that I'm excited to start on my channel today. So this series is going to be called Trash or Treasure, and my basic game plan here is to take some Pokemon that you don't necessarily see too often in VGC, and see if they're actually like a hidden gem, like a treasure, or if it actually is indeed not seen for a reason, right? So today I figured I'd choose Weavile, and right now I don't really know how I want this series to go, but I do think this series has a lot of potential. So what I want to see from you guys today, what I want to know from you guys today, is what can I do with this series that is going to make it unique and something that you guys actually want to watch. Whether that's maybe moving it over to Showdown, so that way we can change spreads as we go, try things out a little bit more often, like you know what I mean? Like try things out. It's Showdown's better for testing, right? And since that's technically quote unquote what I'm doing. If I'm testing something, maybe Showdown would be better for this series. But I don't know, I always feel like it's much more beneficial to watch the, like watching, what am I trying to say here? Watching Battle Stadium or in-game stuff is a lot better than Showdown. But regardless of that, please let me know how you guys want to see this series proceed. Like, I'm really interested in feedback on this because, like I said, I want this series to do well, and I think it has a lot of potential. But let's jump into this match before we time out here. We've got Melodic, Indeedee, Excadrill, Tyranitar, Ferrothorn, and that is a Hatterene. So, unfortunately, Weavile is definitely not going to make an appearance here. I don't think it actually hits anything for super effective other than that Indeedee. But needless to say, you know what? That might actually be enough to bring it. You know what? It's Weavile, so we're going to bring it. Hitting the Indeedee could come in handy. I'm going to also have Snarl. Arcanite's pretty good here. I think I'm going to go Rotom for the Sand matchup and a Melodic. And I'm going to go Excadrill just because I'm panicking and I'm going to be out of time. But actually, as I see this, my screen is actually off right now. Let me see if I can fix this mid-recording. Top part of my screen there. That should be slightly better, I think. I'll adjust it properly fully afterwards. But regardless of that, we're into this battle, and basically what I wanted to do with Weavile here, it's kind of going to be fast support. So obviously Fake Out's not going to come in handy here because of the Indeedee and the Psychic Terrain. However, fast knockoff is really good in this format. You can knock off things like Dusclops Eviolite. I'm not even sure if I'm running knockoff. I wanted to. Now that I'm saying it, I better have knockoff on this. Either way, well, now that I'm looking at it, fast knockoff is pretty incredible. You can knock off things like Focus Sash, Eviolite on that Dusclops that can be pretty pesky, Resist Berries on potential Togekiss or potential Hatterene. There's a lot of things you can do with knockoff in this format, so in fact I'm actually not knockoff as I'm talking about that. So knockoff would actually be better. I do also like taunt in this format. Like I can taunt like this Indeedee right now, so that way it can't go for a follow me next turn. There's a lot of things I could do here. What I am going to do though is I am just going to go basic here. Going to go for the Throat Chop. And I think I'm going to be, I could Snarl to pick up this Indeedee. I could also go for a taunt and swap out my Arcanine, but I'm not too concerned. So I think I'm just going to go for the Throat Chop there and the Flare Blitz into this Excadrill, just to try and get some damage off quickly. In fact, if Throat Chop can actually pick up the knockout, I don't think it can. Like, that would be a tall task for Weavile, but Weavile's going to go Throat Chop here. Does not pick up that knockout as expected, but does do a good chunk, and Arcanine's Flare Blitz is going to finish off this Indeedee. But as I was saying, what I want this series to be is basically highlighting a Pokemon that's not used too often, right? So then use it for a few episodes, maybe make adjustments to it, and then figure out whether it is indeed like a hidden treasure, or if it actually is trash if I'm using the terms of my title here. But I won't be talking in terms of those, but just to emphasize where I got the title from, I figured I'd mention it. But like I said, please let me know how you guys want to see this series proceed. I think I've said this 3 times now. I normally wouldn't emphasize it too much, but like I said, I really want this series to go well, so I'm looking for feedback here. So if you guys don't mind, I would appreciate that. But Melodic coming in for my opponent right now, and I'm actually okay with this. Like, I'm relatively safe just to double this Excadrill. Like, that was a pretty free turn 1. I mean, I could taunt this Melodic. In fact, I'm going to. This stops Coil, this stops Hypnosis, so I am gonna, actually I could Will-O-Wisp. In fact, that's what I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna go for the Willow into the drill. Just in case he does indeed decide to go for something like, if he is indeed that Focus Sash, I should say. But I'm going to go into this Melodic here, so hopefully we do indeed see a Coil. I would doubt that we see a Blind Hypnosis, but Arcanine, I'm going to go for a Wisp into the Excadrill's Protect, which is fine. And Melodic cannot use Hypnosis after the taunt, which is fantastic. Okay. So, what does my opponent have in the back here? I definitely want to double the drill slot. It's just protected, so if I can barrel down there, what's he got in the back? Tyranitar is the scariest switch-in, so I think I'm gonna Icicle Crash the Excadrill. It's a little bit more risky, but Flare Blitz Icicle Crash should put T-Tar in range of what I believe is another Icicle Crash, and Excadrill could also technically protect. Although, here's the thing, if he thinks that I'm going to go for a Will-O-Wisp, he's not going to really want to swap in T-Type. But he is going to Dynamax, that's probably going to be that Melodic. Actually, it might be that Excadrill. Speaking of what my opponent wants to do here. Honestly, that's surprising to me. Like, I could have just clicked Will-O-Wisp and completely burned his max here. Obviously, didn't do that. A little bit surprising here. Still doubled into it, still going to get some massive damage off here, which is pretty good. But I am not the most offensive Arcanine, so getting a knockout here, I'd be shocked with. Icicle Crash does a good chunk of damage, so thanks to Weavile, and Arcanine goes Flare Blitz, and it is just going to be shy. So, decent chunk of damage. It's actually going to be weakness policy, so that makes a little bit more sense as to why he maxed. He felt comfortable getting that burn technically cancelled out by the policy there. And we're just going to see a max Quake from this Excadrill. It's going to connect. That's going to murder the Arcanine. There's no doubt in my mind there. So, Arcanine's going to drop, and we're going to see what this Melodic wants to do. I'd imagine just simply a Muddy Water. Like, I'd be shocked if it was anything else. But we shall see. Yeah, just going to be a Muddy Water from this Melodic here. The question is, how much is it going to do to Weavile? Okay, so Weavile actually takes that pretty well, meaning I don't have to worry about whether or not this Melodic is going to potentially knock me out with another one, or if this Excadrill is going to max guard. So I'm pretty safe to just launch a Throat Chop here out into the Excadrill. That'll pick up that knockout, and I'm also safe to Nasty Plot. That'll help my damage output against this Melodic as well. So far, Weavile putting in some work right now. Just chunked everything, basically. Like, obviously, I think Arcanine was basically the true catalyst here. Like, we basically nerfed Excadrill here, but you know what? I'd say this is pretty solid. Basically, what I want to do to finish off this game is to max this Rotom after I get the Nasty Plot off so it can kill Melodic. But that's all going to depend on what he has in the back here. Let's see. Okay, so he actually is going to withdraw his Dynamax, which is absolutely insane. Still had 2 more turns. I mean, it makes sense just trying to save it for later on, which does. And he's actually got a decent switch in here, so thankfully Throat Chop's going to come out rather than Icicle Crash. So Throat Chop should do a little bit more. Not a crazy amount more, but a little bit more. And Rotom's going to get a Nasty Plot here, and this Ferrothorn being on the field right now is a bit of a pain. Because this Molok's going to click Muddy Water. That's probably its only attacking move. Yep, Muddy Water coming out, going to connect. And where's it going? Weavile is indeed going to survive, which is huge. And by where... Did I really just ask where that Muddy Water was going? It's a spread move. I'm clearly not thinking straight right now. But Melodic's going to shake off the taunt here. But the question is, who do I want to taunt? Like, the thing is, Ferrothorn could easily start trying to stack up on defense. However, I almost want to save Weavile because it's going to be faster than that late game Excadrill. So in fact, that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this Weavile, swap in Excadrill of my own, and just drop a Max Lightning into this. Although Max Lightning into this Melodic might not be the best place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Max Pump, Max Geyser I should say, into the Ferrothorn, because I think 2 of them should be able to pick this up. Anyways, plus a high horsepower anyways. But I am scared of that potential Melodic swapping back into the Excadrill here. But we'll see what he goes for here. So we're not going to see a switch out from my opponent's end, but I'm also not scared at all of this Melodic. Yeah, sure, he can Hypnosis me, but at the end of the day, he's not really putting any pressure on right now. No immediate pressure from my opponent. Other than, of course, I guess the Ferrothorn is the most offensive pressure he has, but either way, we're going to see what this Melodic wants to go for. And how much damage this Rotom Wash wants to do. We'll see. Rotom's going to go for the Max Geyser straight up, and hopefully this puts it in range of a Geyser and a high horsepower. Okay, so that actually is in range of just simply another Geyser, which is fantastic. Which allows me to get a high horsepower off into this Melodic next turn. But Muddy Water is actually going to just kill Excadrill, so take that everything back that I just said, and now things get interesting. Ferrothorn is indeed going to Leech Seed, so I'm going to predict this Ferrothorn to protect in order to survive another Hydro Pump. So I'm going to fake out and Max Lightning the Melodic, and then next turn I'll go for another Max Geyser into the Ferrothorn. I think that should work. The only way this doesn't work is if he doesn't protect Ferrothorn. And I mean, he might not, but he also doesn't know that I have Fake Out. Can I Fake Out? Is Psychic Terrain over? I'll have to check that. I think it just ended because he had to turn. He didn't max. I think it should be gone. Yeah, Psychic Terrain is indeed gone, so I'm safe to Fake Out this Melodic, and I will go for the Max Lightning. This actually might not straight up pick up the knockout, but I don't really need it to. I just need it to do big damage. Because then I'm faster with if I could speak English. Not my best episode commentary wise, guys, so I apologize for that. But Fake Out, like I said, big damage into Melodic. Don't really want to see, actually no protect from that Ferrothorn, so hopefully as long as he didn't target Weavile, we're alright. I could have just killed that Ferrothorn, and maybe I should have. But Melodic actually does drop, which is fantastic here. The scary part is the fact that this Ferrothorn is going to be able to attack here. And hopefully he didn't target Weavile. But it makes sense that he would have. Like double up the, basically double attack here, because I can't really stop both of you from attacking. Which makes sense, and it's actually going to be a body press from this Ferrothorn, and Weavile is 100% going to drop to that. I think Weavile dies to that from full. But basically Weavile goes down there, I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is the end game here. Things are a bit shaky right now. I think Ferrothorn just wins, to be honest. Unless I can somehow live something from this Excadrill. Or he chokes and protects Excadrill and I kill it through the protect. But I definitely have to murder the drill here. Unless, of course, he's not Mold Breaker. Okay, he's Mold Breaker. I was going to say, if he's not Mold Breaker, things actually get interesting. I could probably just launch something into that Pharaoh. But he is Mold Breaker, so I'm 100% have to kill this Excadrill right now. It has to go down. So, trying to think where we lost this game, and it's definitely because I let Arcanine go down with the potential for Ferrothorn in the back. I probably should have swapped it out. But I also didn't expect him to... did I just die? Is he Life Orb? Oh, crit. That's unfortunate. But, you know what? That's going to happen. But anyways, I was going to say, back to my Arcanine point here, like, I mean, I really didn't expect him to stay in and max the Excadrill. 1 being at -1, and 2 with the threat of Will-O-Wisp coming out. Like, that seems really weird to me. But then again, I don't know why I risked not going for the Will-O-Wisp. I should have just Wisped. There was no reason for me not to Wisp there, but you know what? I don't think Weavile did too bad, and that's what we're here for. I'm not too concerned about winning or losing here. I'm just basically trying to showcase some Pokemon here. And we've got Weavile. Did a pretty decent job, I would say. Like, that fast Throat Chop is really nice. I think if I were to move on with this team, I'd probably go Knockoff Weavile, because as I was saying at the beginning of the episode, when I initially thought I had Knockoff, was that we can go for like fast knockoffs. You can knock off Eviolite, you can knock off berries. There's so many things you can knock off in this format, because basically everything has an item. Back in previous formats like Ultra Series, you couldn't knock off the Mega Stone, you couldn't knock off the Z Crystal. There's a lot of things you couldn't really that knockoff didn't really benefit. But in this series right here, like in VGC 20, there's definitely a strong case to be made for having knockoff, especially a fast knockoff that can go before your partners here. But we're going to focus on this game right now, and basically, Weavile should have a relatively decent matchup against Dragapult. I mean, you would think it would, but with Dragapult being able to max and just annihilate things in a hurry, Weavile's matchup against Dragapult is relatively less effective. However, I think something like a Weavile Togekiss lead here is actually pretty decent. So we're going to go with exactly that, Weavile Togekiss. Rode him in the back before that Melodic again. I know it didn't, I mean, it worked out to counter the Melodic last time, I just didn't play the rest of the game well. The Mimikyu and the Clefairy are a bit annoying here. I almost want Excadrill. I feel like that cleans up the, complements the rest of the team nicely, cleans up the rest of his team pretty nicely. So we'll go with Excadrill here. I was going to say it's the same for as last time, but instead of Arcanine this time, I do have Togekiss. This guy just puts #1 in his name, man. He's ready to go. He's #1. He wants to let everybody know. But either way, hopefully Weavile can actually put in some more work here. I'm gonna just for this episode, like I said, until I get some feedback, I'm just going to do 2 battles on Battle Spot, but I'm thinking I'm gonna maybe shift to Showdown. I don't know. Like I said, I want advice, but I'm gonna stop asking for it now because, you know, we should focus on this battle. And I think I've said it maybe 6 times, and you guys gotta be getting tired of that. But we're actually gonna see Clefairy Dragapult, which is expected lead, I should say, nothing crazy. And actually, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna get a little bit unique here. I'm gonna go for the max Airstream into the Clefairy, and I'm actually gonna, I was gonna say knockoff, but once again, I don't have it. So I'm actually gonna Icicle Crash. I'm gonna double the Clefairy. Although, should I just double the Pult anyways? You know what? I'm gonna double the Pult anyways, because this guy could just Helping Hand. And since he could just helping hand, I think doubling the Dragapult is pretty decent. And let's see what we get here. We do have the Focus Sash on Weavile. He's actually going to max. There's no way it's going to be that Clefairy, so we know it's going to be the Dragapult here. Which, I mean, is technically good, but technically not. It's better. I'd rather him max here than click Dragon Dance, because if he clicked Dragon Dance, that was a bit annoying. But we're going to see what this Clefairy goes for, and I think that basically defines the rest of his game. But let's see. I'm going to max my Kiss now to follow suit here. What I want to do with this here is basically don't want to give Dragapult too much momentum. If Dragapult gets too much momentum right at the beginning of the game, because that's basically when it really wants to max. It tries to max early, get heavy damage off so it can clean things up for what's in the back, right? Sometimes you can sweep with it, sometimes you just set things up, right? But Clefairy is indeed going to go for this follow me. But like I was saying, my main goal here is just to get rid of it as soon as possible. And to minimize the damage as well, right? Like, yes, Clefairy is going to prevent me from actually hitting it, but if I can minimize the damage that it's going to do and I can stall out his max with my max, I'm okay with that. I feel comfortable winning that in game. So it's going to be a defense drop there with Phantasm. And Weavile is going to go for an Icicle Crash. It is going to connect into this Clefairy. I don't think this is going to do too much. Yeah, that does nothing. Okay, so nothing crazy right there, but Toki is going to go for the max Airstream, which is pretty good because now it actually puts Clefairy in Icicle Crash range, I think. Don't quote me on that. We're going to have to find out in a few moments here because I'm going to go for it. I'm going to double the Dragapult again, just in case this Clefairy protects, because a few Clefairies I know do have Protect on them. That way they can protect, and then, you know, because a lot of people actually still target the Follow Me user, rather than the Mon they want to, rather than the Mon they're trying to target. So, I feel like, just in case he does protect, predicting me to target the Clefairy here, targeting the Dragapult is really good. And he's actually not going to protect, he's actually just going to Helping Hand. So, we're going to see Weavile drop an Icicle Crash here, going to connect into this Dragapult, might proc a Policy. We do not proc a Policy. This Phantasm is going to go out, going to go into the Togekiss right now, which is slightly annoying. Okay, so Togekiss is going to drop. I'm okay with this because Weavile is still faster than his Dragapult. I do lose my max, but I did do huge damage to his max, which is pretty good. Do I know if this thing's Life Orb or not yet? I don't think it is Life Orb. Okay, probably should have seen that last, turn, but I think I bring Excadrill in here just to simple protect. Although, do I need to protect? I think I do, just because of the threat of Helping Hand here. So I'm going to protect, but I mean, he's going to follow me. He doesn't want to risk Dragapult getting Icicle Crash to death here. So he's going to follow me here. Like, I'd be shocked if he didn't. So, I am going to protect right now. Do I need to? There's no way Excadrill is surviving, so I'm going to have to protect. And I'll drop an Icicle Crash into this Dragapult. I'm expecting just a Follow Me Phantasm, maybe even a Wormwind into this Weavile to try to drop the attack stat. Thankfully, Weavile is still faster than his Dragapult, which is honestly, I think, pretty important right now. And it's Focus Sash. So the fact that he hasn't targeted it, Weavile is actually in a pretty decent spot. So Excadrill gonna go for the protect. Pretty straightforward play for me here. I don't really want Excadrill going down just yet. Actually, Clefairy is going to protect. So as I was talking about earlier, that Clefairy can go for the protect. There's a lot of people that do target the Follow Me user. And Icicle Crash just going to become shy of picking up that knockout onto the pull here. And we are going to see a Wormwood. Should go into Weavile. Yep. I'm okay with this. Yes, I do lose my attack. It does drop a little bit, but this Dragapult is going to die. So we make this game a 3-3 game right now. Clefairy's chipped down a little bit. I have the faster Pokemon on my side of the field, which is fantastic. And we're going to see how this game finishes. Unfortunately now, Icicle Crash is no longer a knockout into this Clefairy, meaning I would have to double up into it if I want to pick up the knockout. Or, I mean, he's just going to be able to follow me and successfully divert to attacks, which could also be scary for me. So, Mimikyu coming in right now, and I'm trying to remember what my opponent had in the back here. So there is a chance he might want to go for like a Trick Room or something. So what I'm going to do is I'm just simply going to go, I'm going to go for a Rock Slide. If I get it, great. Although I could also protect and taunt. That's another thing I could go for. Well, I can't really protect, so because I can't protect, I'm just going to go for the Iron Head and the Icicle Crash into this Mimikyu. If he doesn't follow me, right? But he's going to follow me here. I'll be shocked if he doesn't. Yeah. There's the follow me. That was inevitably going to happen. Unless I get somehow some sort of high roll, but I'm very confident that this Icicle Crash is not going to kill. Icicle Crash coming out into this Clefairy, and it is actually going to survive, so makes sense. Like I said, I was confident that it wouldn't pick up the knockout, but Clefairy is going to drop here, and the question is, what does this Mimikyu want to do? I would imagine he wants to get the Room Up, but I could be wrong, and I've been wrong before. And he does indeed go for that Trick Room play. So the question is, what's my opponent's last Pokemon? And then what do I do to counter it? Although, you know what? Say what you want. I think Weavile has actually shown a pretty decent, shown some pretty decent potential. Okay, so seeing my opponent's last Pokemon as Melodic is fantastic. Now, I don't know if it's offensive or defensive. If it's defensive, Iron Head into Mimikyu is 100% to play. I think that's 100% to play regardless. I almost want to save Weavile, but at the same time, I don't think it's worth. So I'm just going to go for a taunt into this Melodic in case he tries to coil up or something. Don't really want to see any of that, so I'm actually going to see Shadow Sneak from this Mimikyu, going to knock out my Weavile, which is a bit annoying. Mainly because this Muddy Water is now going to be single target into this Excadrill. It should pick up a knockout. Muddy Water coming out, going into Excadrill. Will it pick up a knockout? That's the question. I think it does. Yep, Excadrill will indeed drop to that right there. And, I mean, Rotom can still do this. The issue is that this Mimikyu still has its Disguise up. Trying to figure out an endgame here is interesting. Okay, so I think I Nasty Plot this turn. Actually, how many turns of Trick Room are left? 2, right? 3, okay. So I protect this turn. Next turn I Nasty Plot. Then the following turn I protect. Get out of Trick Room. Hopefully, I don't know, this is going to be interesting. This is I'm asking for a lot from this little Rotom right here. This washing machine is going to have to put in the most work ever. And he's just gonna go for the offense here. I definitely need a Nasty Plot to win this game, so you know for 100% sure that I'm gonna go for it. I don't know if there's a world in which I get 3 attacks off. And the thing is, I might even need 4. I might need to connect 4 attacks. But Shadow Claw coming out from the Mimikyu here doesn't do too much damage, and Muddy Water coming out, it's actually gonna miss. So that's huge for me, and as I get this Nasty Plot off. So now the thing is here, Protect is obvious. Right? He knows I'm gonna Protect to try and stall out this room. The question is there anything he can really do to take advantage of that? I'm gonna go ahead and say no, just because it's best of 1, and I would hate to lose because I didn't Protect on the last turn of Trick Room. So I am gonna Protect right here. We're gonna see what he goes for. He could Swords Dance here and just... Okay, so he's just gonna go for a Play Rough, so he did not capitalize on my prediction. He could Coil. No, but he's just gonna spam another Muddy Water here. And things get interesting now. I'm trying to think if there's a way to win this game. I think I have to kill Mimikyu sooner rather than later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Thunderbolt to break the Disguise. And then next turn I'm going to Pump. If he gets Trick Room back up, I'm not really too concerned. In fact, Rotom's actually faster than this Mimikyu, meaning maybe he is going for this Trick Room. If he Trick Rooms, I think we're in a good spot. But we'll find out in a minute. Melodic going for the Muddy Water right now. Could have also been Mid-Speed Mimikyu, I don't actually remember. Actually, I think he was, right? I think he was Mid-Speed Mimikyu. So either way, Rotom's accuracy is going to drop, which actually could matter big time. But we're going to see what happens here. That Muddy Water is doing a lot of damage, eh? But regardless of this, Play Rough coming out from Mimikyu is going to connect. That should be enough to put me in the knockout range. Okay, it's not. So basically, actually I was going to say basically my game plan is him missing Muddy Water here. But I'm pretty confident we're just going to get the Shadow Sneak into us and we're going to die here. That would be basically what I'm expecting. Yep, there's a Shadow Sneak, and that's going to end Rotom's career, or game plan. But I, once again, don't know where we lost that one. Like, I'm trying to analyze quickly here for you guys, because, like, I don't want to just play games without analyzing, because, like, watching Pokemon is obviously great, and it's fun, but, like, when you want to sit down and analyze, like, analyzing is something that I really want to do on this channel. Like, no one's going to sit here and just watch someone play Pokemon, right? I feel like analyzing is what you guys want to come here for, but regardless of that, I'll figure out a way to try to analyze. Like, I want to work on my commentary too. Like, I want to almost be able to analyze the scenario as it's happening rather than commentate on what you guys can obviously see on the screen, right? Like, I don't want to just sit here going, oh, and Rotom's going to click Hydro Pump now. In fact, I disconnected, but that's good timing. But I don't want to sit here and click, oh, Rotom's clicking Hydro Pump now. You guys can all see that Rotom's clicking Hydro Pump now, right? So I kind of want to be able to analyze scenarios a little bit more. I want to really work on my commentary. But basically, thank you guys for watching this first episode of Trash or Treasure. And I would really, really, really appreciate the feedback on how you guys want to see this series play out. I would really appreciate that, guys. So thank you guys for watching, and I will be back in the next episode.